to another MaizePlus video, and this time we're looking at the update to animal food additions and sheep. So if you're not aware, when MaizePlus Animal Food Additions was updated to version 1.3, the inputs and outputs for all of the animals except cows was reviewed, and those numbers have changed. And we're going to have a look today in detail at sheep and assess how those changes have affected the profitability. This has been done as a very quick analysis based on data from a previous video. I'll leave a link for that below, which I have modified to account for the changes. I've excluded the fact that sheep can use straw and produce manure and slurry because not every placeable has that capability included. So I've just focused on food, water and wool for the sheep. But let's have a look at how that's changed. So got base game, previous animal food additions, new animal food additions, and you can see really focusing on MaizePlus between the previous and the new animal food additions, a massive reduction in how much food the sheep eat. It's almost reduced by a third. Quite a big increase in how much water they drink, and then a reduction in how much straw is used. But the use of straw is very dependent on having a suitably set up placeable, so I'm not really going to focus on that at all in this video. In terms of outputs, so previous animal food additions used the base game amounts of wool being produced, and now for the updated one, each of the 4 breeds of animals produce different amounts of wool, and yes, it is slightly reduced, but remember that the amount of food that they consume has reduced massively, and I'll have a look at how that affects everything in a moment. But yeah, you can see the numbers there. So the land races produce the most at 32 litres per month once they are at full age, and then just reducing as we go through, or changing, not necessarily reducing. So 12 for the Stein Shaft, 24 for the Swiss Mountain, and 20 for the Black Welsh. So assumptions for doing this testing. The food is based on me buying alfalfa silage and alfalfa hay bales, boxes of carrots, and bulk grain mix that are part of MaizePlus. Obviously, with sheep, when you've got grass growing, you can either graze them with real grazing, or you can indirect graze them and save a ton of money. But I've assumed that we are buying food all year for these calculations. So let's compare food and water costs. And remember, again, water does have a bit of an impact, but not so much as with the previous pig video that I've done. So I have included water in all of the calculations. So for 6-month-old animals, with the old animal food additions, you were spending £64, dollars or euros per month on food and water. And with the new one, it's down to £29.50 per month. So quite a nice reduction. Yes, I know that the food reduction was more significant, but they drink more water and water still costs money. So that's the change in the cost of the inputs. And then let's have a look at the outputs. So the wool value per month, remember this is per animal. So previous animal food additions was up at, once they were 18 months old, £90 a month per animal. And we're now looking at a peak of 70 and a minimum of 25, depending on which breed of animal that you buy. And then if we look at the profit, and the previous animal food additions is the same as base game in terms of amount of wool produced. So and if we look at the profit, so that's taking the value of the wool and then taking off the cost per month of food and water, you can see that now, rather than with the previous animal food additions, you could, once these sheep were older, you could be looking at maybe making £27.50 per month profit per animal based on feeding it and selling its wool. You can be up at 40 for the land race. You could be making a loss for the Stein Shaft, but remember that's with buying them food all of the year. With grazing, you won't be doing that, so if you've got a big grass field, you're going to be saving some money there. So quite a spread. And the other thing is you're going to be producing lambs. So let's have a look at those and how much profit you can make. And you'll see here that that has changed significantly. With the old animal food additions, you wanted to be selling your lambs quite early because the amount of food that they ate meant that you started to lose the profit until they started to produce wool and produce lambs. So you either needed to keep them for a very long time, like 18 months, or sell them early. Whereas with the new animal food additions, you're looking at hanging on to them for 4 to 5 months, and then you're going to make a profit of about £130 per animal. So yeah, I think that's not too bad. You know, you're going to have lambs every 5 months. So accounting for that, if we go back, even the stein shafts, which don't produce very much wool, the fact that they're producing lambs will mean they will be profitable, just less profitable than something like a landrace. So yeah, all of the sheep can in fact be profitable with selling the lambs. I haven't looked at how enhanced animal system affects this. Generally, you still get a very high probability of having a single lamb, so shouldn't affect it too significantly, I don't think. So to summarize, the reduction in food consumption, the slight increase in water consumption, the cost change of that is greater than the reduction in the wool production for most of the breeds of sheep, except the stein shafts. So sheep become profitable sooner, which is good. The lambs produce a higher profit. It takes a little bit longer. It's about 3 to 6 months. And even the stein shafts will make you money regularly if you're selling the lambs at the right point. And on top of that, that's assuming that you buy them food from the store every month. If you're using grazing, so either with the realism add-on and grazing from the pasture, or indirect grazing, so you can mow grass, or MaizePlus, if you mow grass as conditioned grass, collect it in a loading wagon, you can go drop it off at the sheep, and that will give them a complete food. Then your costs are going to reduce pretty significantly, and you'll be making even more profit. So yeah, I think this is a really positive change for sheep. It's going to make them quite a bit more profitable. And yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, click the like button. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, stick them below. And I'll see you next time.